Morning, everybody. Welcome along to the Rangers Rabble uh, morning Rabble on the Friday. This morning, I'm joined by Mark. How you doing? Nice to see you.
All good, mate. I'm all good. How's yourself?
Not bad, not bad. Enjoying these mornings. It's weird, but it's you get into a sort of routine.
It's civilised, that. Sitting having a
I,
wee cup of tea and
I
wee
know
morning chat about the famous.
exactly. So it's all good. It's all good. Hello, everybody in the comments. Just rattle through a couple of you. Stuart's in, Caroline's in, DC's in, Ian's in. Teresa, morning, Teresa. How you doing? So we'll carry on with the chat and the rumours, and hopefully, hopefully hear something today, Mark. But it appears that Cantwell has moved on quite swiftly, and he will be announced today sometime. So that's hopefully one in the door.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's think it's a very exciting signing. I think this boy's got the potential to be an absolute superstar. So I'm very excited for him. By all accounts, he's in Glasgow as well. So it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's he's starting to identify players that he wants and what he's trying to mold his squad now, isn't he? It's not a case of this is not. It's not a case of now he's having to work with what he's got. This is his a chance to get his players in, and then it's all working towards the big summer, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be, and I like the fact that you said that a few times. The fact that he's buying players for specific positions as well. So obviously he's come in, identified what positions need strengthened, and obviously what positions that he wants specific players to play. So for me, that's brilliant, and it looks as if he's having a real big say in who's coming in as well. So it seems to be very exciting. Obviously, the summer's going to be the big one, but if we can freshen up this side and kind of get a new impetus into this squad, then it's only going to be good going forward. And as I said, some of the players that they're talking about is really exciting.
Yeah, I think as well. It's worth mentioning, Mark, is the ages of these guys. They've all got potential to move on
Yeah.
um, further after Rangers, obviously, because at the end of the day, we've got to realise where we are in the world scale of football. We're 20, 30 years ago, we were in a totally different situation where we were the top dogs of the UK, but now it's totally flipped, and we've just got to accept where we are. So we've got to find the gems and then move them on for big money, as we've done with Bassi and um, Patterson. So
Aribo as
and
well.
Aribo.
Yeah.
So it's almost following that sort of route. But what do you think Campbell will bring to us if and when he signs?
I think I would said it before. I think that we're kind of hedging our bets as well on the fact that if Kent goes, then I think that he's probably a direct replacement for him. But I think that he's kind of that versatile that he can sit in that other kind of inside 10, that kind of 10 position with Kent. So for me, the two of them would be frightening going forward. Very similar players. Good at carrying the ball, pace, tricky. Likes to commit players. Likes to bring other players into the game and stuff. So for me, very similar player. As I said, but very exciting because if you think about the what we said earlier offline before we come on here, if you look at the players that they're bringing in, likes of are talking about bringing in, if you like, look at the boy Raskin. I'm sure we'll get to him as well, but Cantwell, the other boy Whitaker. It's all when you put Tillman into the mix, you put Kent into the mix, even Lowry into the mix. It's all very dynamic, young players that are all really good at carrying balls at pace. They're all really good at committing defences, and they're all very comfortable on the ball. So it seems quite exciting. I know that obviously Beale likes this a technical player and he likes to do rotations and movement and stuff like that off the ball. So it's really exciting. As I say, Cantwell's one that I think is going to bring an awful lot. I mean, all you need to do is look at his reels on YouTube and stuff like that. He's got a lovely touch. and he's a very, very exciting young guy. As I say, I'm really looking forward to if we get these three, I think we'll be in a really good place moving into the summer.
Yeah, I still think there's a bit of mileage in Kent. I don't think he's totally out the door yet. I think he might. There's a good chance he could stay on. He's talking positively about the club, and he's saying that he's going to speak to the manager about his future. So there is that hope that he might stay, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen the interviews as well with him, and he's going to sit down and discuss his future with the manager. So that to me says that there's a discussion to be had, and he's
Mm-hmm.
not just saying, "Oh, we'll see how it pans out," and it's up to my agent. And so, and obviously spoke really, really highly. Abil
Yeah.
said that he's had a big influence in his career. So I think, I mean, when you listen to that, you kind of reading between the lines. It's a possibility that he maybe look to sign a new contract. There
Mm-hmm.
is also, I don't know if you're aware, there's also this, there's a sell-on clause with Liverpool. And I
Okay.
think that if he does what Connor Goldson done, i.e. leaves it till the end of the season, so the day after, if he signs a contract the day after his contract expires,
Uh-huh.
then we can take that sell-on clause out of
Oh,
the contract. So then whatever profit we make is clear profit for us, and it cuts Liverpool right out of the equation. I know that's probably more wishful thinking than anything else, but it is another thing that obviously I know that we all like sort of a conspiracy theories and trying to be cleverer than we are. But as I
yeah,
said, if that might be a possibility. Who knows? They might say, look, we'll give you X, Y, and Z, but what we'll do is we'll sign you the contract the day after your contract expires, and
yeah.
it might be. But as I said, if that's the case, then I'll leave our bums going like that till right till the end, won't it?
Well, I can't be doing another Goldson situation, but that's by the by. DC's asked a fair point. Here Cantwell might be in a 4-year deal. Is that a bit risky considering he's not featured much for Norwich? Now, I suppose there's only two ways to look at it. It is risky because he hasn't played a lot, or B, that it gives us a bit of security. If he does do well, then obviously the English clubs are never shy at coming back for players that are starting to do well. So it's very much a two sides of the coin sort of situation, isn't it?
It's the it's obviously. I mean, signing any player is a risk. It really
Yeah.
is, and it's whether you think to yourself. It really depends on the makeup of the contract. It depends on how much we're actually going to fork out for him to get him in January. So, I mean, if you're only paying a couple of million and you take him on a 4-year deal and it doesn't work out, the fact that he's English, the fact that he's got like an under 21s pedigree and stuff like that, and I mean, I think that obviously that the fact that you English and the English quota and stuff like that for teams is quite big. I think you'll always get your money back, at least some money back from. As I said, I know that the kind of championship as well is they spend a lot of money down there as
Mhm.
well, and for wages. So as I said, it is a calculated risk. But I mean, with this boy was they're talking about 35 million 2 seasons ago for this boy. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can't drop that far from grace, surely. So I think that we are a really, really good bit of business by bringing this boy in. I think we've kind of stole a march, and as I said, it can only be good. It is going to be a risk, but as I said, like anything, it's a risk buying a car. Anything can be a risk, really. So
Aye, absolutely. So, with the Campwell deal looking like it's done, and it's only a matter of time before there's an announcement, we've not been slow in going for more. So it looks like, from what I'm seeing and reading and getting told, that this boy Nicholas Raskin's the next one in the door. Mark. Now, we were linked with him before. It didn't come off. Um, he's at Standard Liège, I believe, and he's not even near the first team, as in playing, because he's obviously not in favour. He's 21. He's from Belgium, so another another clever sort of signing in the sense that the age of the guy. I think he plays under 21s for Belgium as well, and I think there was actually a bit of debate whether he should have went to the World Cup or not, but he didn't. Um, so this is another guy that we're in for, and it looks There's even talk of, I think folk in the chat are even saying 4 year, 4.5 year deals. So this is another exciting one, isn't it?
Very much so. They're talking about 4.5 year deals, so you're hoping that that's a wee snippet that's got out, that so we're actually properly serious on this young man. But he as I said, he'd been linked to us for probably the past year. Good player, very much a kind of deep line playmaker. Very much in a kind of role as Stephen Davis, as far as I'm aware. I think he's had 100 or close to 100 first team games for Liège as well at 21. So that tells you a lot that the boy, even though he's a young boy, he's played a lot of football for his young age. But yeah, I think another very good player. I think seen a stat somewhere that he had the highest before he obviously got kind of bombed out the squad. He's got the highest interception in the Belgian league as well, which surprised me because I don't think he's very physical, but I think he's very same again, Beale type player, very technically gifted, good with the ball at his feet, good at passing, moving, and starting kind of attacking from that kind of deep lying position. So another one really exciting. Great age as well, like we've said. So it looks as if he's going to trying to build a very young, hungry squad that's technically very gifted. So as I said, another exciting, very exciting prospect.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, there was sort of chat that he should have went to the World Cup. Now, if you're getting touted for not only just the Belgium team, but getting into the World Cup squad for the Belgians. Now, obviously, I appreciate the Belgians obviously didn't do very well at the World Cup, but they're still a very talented squad, Mark. And even to be spoken of getting into that squad is can't, can't be a bad player.
Very high praise indeed, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's some of the you name some of the players in that squad, and I mean, I think they're top. At one point, they were the top team in the world, weren't they, rankings wise, and I think they're still probably top five anyway. Obviously, they never done really well at the World Cup, but I think that was very unexpected of them, as I said, because some of the quality players they've got is frightening. So for him to be named in kind of the same breath as that team says a lot about the young boy. As I said, I think he's a lot of caps for the under 21s Belgian side as well. So I said for me, same again. I'm hoping that it's he's got 6 months left in his contract. I think that because he never signed his contract, had been bombed out a wee bit. I think he's
Mhm.
sent to train with the reserves and stuff like that, which is never a nice thing to see. But it's might be working to their advantage. Hopefully, they'll just want to get him off their books. But for me, no brainer. Young boy, talented. Same again. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Now, we're obviously looking at our current squad at what we've got, and obviously Davis is out injured, and most likely, I think he's going to be moving into a coaching role by all accounts. Now that leaves Lundstrom, Jack. I think you could say Sands is in that equation, and Kamara. So, as CGM's just asked, and it's a good question. What would the signing for Raskin mean for Lundstrom? It might take the handbrake off him. I think Lundstrom has probably looked his best alongside Sands when he can play with more freedom. So, the Raskin deal is obviously got impact obviously on our current squad. Do you think this will be a good thing for Lundstrom?
I think all competition's a good thing. All competition. So if you've got somebody looking over their shoulder, as it stands at the minute, Lundstrom's not really got anybody that he needs to look over his shoulder at. So
Mm,
for me, it'll fire him up. But there's nothing saying that the two of them can't play together.
no.
So I mean, if you're going to play 4-2-3-1, then that's two. I think two of them are perfect folly for each other. So say one stays, one goes, vice versa. So I think that I can see the two of them playing together. I think that for me, Lundstrom always impresses me when he breaks forward with the ball, and I don't think he really gets that opportunity a lot because he's having to hold and stay. So as I said, that could it could play into our hands that we've got two players that both can hold, but both can move forward as well. So I can see the pair of them working, but also for the point of view is if they're only going to play one pivot, then you're going to get Lundstrom either looking over his shoulder or vice versa. Raskin looking over his shoulder, as I said, we're talking here as if he's signed, but as I said, just the potential of that for me is always going to be a good thing. As I said, the more competition in the squad, the better.
Here's another good point from Paul. Our team is going to be very technical with a very low average age come the next few weeks. I think they'll be younger, under 30s, what he's saying, with a goalkeeper to come too. Now, I think this is obviously something that's been playing on the sort of fans' minds, and well, it's obviously clearly hitting Beale as well that the average age of our squad is crept up something rotten. Obviously, you always want a experience in your squad, but at the same time, you can't have two or three guys in their mid to late 30s continually playing every week, can you?
No, I just think they get to a certain age where it's not possible to play 2 games a week. I think Davis was one this season, probably more than any. It was you could see that he was struggling to do 2 games in a week. I think Arfield's probably in that bracket as well. Um, Injury wise, Jack as well. He's not got 2 games a week in him.
No.
So you're as I said, it's having that kind of age is always good because it's always experience, especially for the younger ones. But as I said, from a playing point of view, and from even like these European games and stuff like that, take an awful lot out of them, especially with the amount of running that they need to do. So I think moving forward, getting youth and legs for me, it's legs in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Sometimes we look as if we're very very leggy, and we've not really got that kind of get about the park as much as say even when we won 55. I mean the difference in the kind of movement from midfield is night and day. So we seem quite static, and I think that's just natural progression. Players getting older, and as I said, you just know you just can't do it anymore. Although the mind's willing, the legs probably aren't. So as I said, it's all very very positive for once. I mean, take us back 4 months ago when it was all doom and gloom, wasn't it? We used to
Yeah.
come on here and you'd hate, oh no, I need to come on here and try but you couldn't be positive. So now
No.
it's completely flipped, and we're talking about young, exciting players. We're talking about the young, exciting players all coming into our club, and the fact that we're going to have legs and technical ability, and so it's all really really good. It's all very positive, and it's really good to kind of talk positively and have a smile on our face for a wee change.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, I said this last night's pod. I purely think Swansea are at it. I think there's no way they've just pulled this boy back and they're going to play him because he's clearly said that he wants to leave. We said this just before we came on, on live. There's Swansea are playing a dangerous game now because when a player makes up his mind and an agent makes up his, between the two of them, when they make up their minds to leave or move to a certain club, it's very unusual for it not to happen. And I think I think they're just trying to either invite other bids or just get as much out of us as they can. They bought him for 400,000, I believe. So I'm not quite sure where they think they can sell him for triple or quadruple what they paid. So are you the belief that I mean apparently he's in the Swansea squad for tomorrow. Um, so I'm still the belief that I think they've just taken him back and they're just trying to rinse us basically. I don't know what you think.
But by all accounts, they need the money. By all accounts, they're struggling financially. So there's probably a bit of we need this money, and it's like a wee bit of a dangerous game they're playing because obviously if he plays, I think that's him played for 3 teams in the space of the season, so he then cannot move. So if they're going to cut their nose off to spite their face, it's quite silly, especially if they're needing the money.
Mhm.
I think that there must be ways and means of getting the deal over the line. Maybe it might even be a case of with the upfront. money is. So, I mean, it might be we'll give you 500,000 up front, and they're maybe saying, well, I tell you what, we'll give you for 1.5 million, but we want it all up front. So you really don't know. You don't know the ins and outs, but
No.
it is a dangerous game because if this boy plays, which I don't think he will, I think that it's madness. Unless you have resigned to the fact that he's staying, I think he's got two years left in his contract as well. I might be wrong, but
Year and a half, I think.
um, so as I said, I mean he's done well, but he's not done well enough that you're selling him for all sorts of millions. Um, Different if he was flying in their squad and week in week out and but he's put him on loan and he's been flying on loan.
Mm-hmm.
So they've brought him back and they brought him back for a reason. They brought him back because they need money and he's a sellable asset. So the boy looks like a player. He's very much in the mould of Rabble. He's 6'3". He's a big
Yeah.
lad. Which when you look at bits and bobs from him, it doesn't really look that big because he's got such quick feet. But I don't know. It's a strange one. As I said, it's playing with fire. But it might be a case of who blinks first. So I think that we'll find out if he plays. Then that's it basically. So but if he doesn't play, then it maybe looks as if they've been trying to play a wee game of poker. But we'll
Mm.
see how it pans out.
Yeah, it's a bit of blind poker at this stage. It's the last week or so of the last just under 2 weeks of the window to go. So everybody's sort of trying to not play their cards and stuff. But we'll obviously carry. We'll have a quick chat about the old goalkeeper situation. You know, it doesn't look as though there's a goalie coming in, Mark. We're going to be stuck with the two current goalies that are there, and of course McCrory. There's a big chat, or not big chat, but there's a lot of people asking, at least give McCrory a chance because, he can he be any worse than McGregor and McLaughlin? What's your sort of take on this?
I'm sick to death.
Right.
Absolutely sick to death. It's and it's do you know what? It's all of our own making. It's all of our own making. This I said it way at the start of the season when they get another year. We've caused
Yeah.
this whole debate, and I said that as well. We will debate this the whole season because of this. I thought it was very, very lazy. I thought it was an easy option, and probably a cheap option as well to give him another year. He's a good goalie. He's just getting old. It's as simple as that. I don't know McLaughlin. I think McLaughlin is a steady Eddie. I think he's a decent goalkeeper, but we've always had top goalkeepers,
Mm.
and it's a thing that's probably as Rangers fans we expect to have the best goalkeeper at least in Scotland playing for us. Um, as I said, it's the McCrory is another one. McCrory, he's not a young boy anymore. He's about 25 now, 24, 25,
Mm.
and he's not played a lot of football. So, like you said, a lot of us don't even know if he's any good because we've seen a game here, a game there. He's not really ever seen him in any sort of a run in the team, whether he can progress and become the Rangers number one. So for me, I think the summer is going to be massive because I think Beale's come out and said that he's not interested in buying a goalie
Yeah.
this in January. So and let's face it, I don't think you're going to get decent goalkeepers in January. So I think that gives him a wee bit more room to try and work on getting a deal and getting somebody identified and trying to bring them in and get a deal structured. So, but I think we're just going to need to muddle through. I think that's the way
Yeah.
of it at the moment. I think that we're just going to need to struggle. We'll chop and change, and just hopefully we don't fling away too many goals while we're doing it. But I think that that's just the way it's going to be until the summer.
Yeah. Now, William and the guys yesterday said that we'd speak about Fashion Sakala, so we shall. Do you think his? I mean, William was speaking about he doesn't like the XG and stuff like this, but his goals and assists, he's either assisting or scoring, pretty much every game recently. Um, we were always told that if he got a run of games, Fashion, that he would come good. Now he's starting to come good, so is it? I mean, there's a few guys that we've that would say give him a run of games, they might come good. And Fashion's almost one of those. I appreciate he's not everybody's cup of tea with his hot and cold sort of style of play, but his numbers are good.
I've said it. His numbers are phenomenal. Goals to game ratio is frightening, absolutely frightening. And for the point of view of if you were looking to move him on, and people are looking at stats, that's frightening. But if you could put a movie reel up for his best moments, and it would look like a world beater. And then you could do the exact same with his poor moments, and you would never ever sign this boy. So it's an enigma. But as far as I'm concerned, see if he's scoring goals and he's creating goals, then he's in the team. Whether he's pretty or whether he's not pretty, it doesn't really matter to me. As I said, the hardest thing in this game is to put the ball in the back of the net. And if he's helping us do that, whether he's setting goals up or whether he's scoring goals himself, it's a no-brainer. As I say, I don't mind if he's got 40 minutes or 45 or even 60 minutes of a game where he's woeful. As long as he puts the ball in the net, then you can't really complain about that. I know, as I said, it's sometimes not pretty to watch, but look, his record for goal scoring is phenomenal. So and his pace frightens people. So as I said, for me, as long as he's still doing it, if he goes 2 or 3 games where he doesn't make anything and he doesn't score, then there's maybe grounds there to try something else. But as it stands at the minute, who else do you put in that right side? Who
Yeah,
else would you select in front of him?
yeah,
At least we're getting something back for him. As I said, the likes of Wright and even Matondo. Matondo's I don't even know he's injured or what's. He's not even making squads now.
no,
So I don't know if he's been completely bombed out by Beale. Maybe there's been a fallout or an argument. Or, I mean, I've
yeah,
heard that obviously. I said a while ago. I've heard his attitude's terrible, but to say that's all hearsay. But
yeah,
obviously, Beale doesn't fancy him because, as I say, he's not making squads at the moment.
no. Yeah, Fashion tries. He probably tries too hard, Mark, doesn't he? He almost, if he just relaxes and just lets things happen, he's more than likely for things to come off. But he just seems to try that extra hard, doesn't he?
Well, he's one of these. He's one of these players that kind of thrives off the crowd and stuff like that. You can tell he loves playing for Rangers. And look, see if I had 11 players that tried as hard as fast as they can, I'd be quite happy, no matter whether we were good or we were not good. So for me, I think the basics, the absolute bare minimum's 100% or 110%, as everybody likes to say. But as I said, if I get that at 11 players, then I'd be quite happy. As I said, there's
Yeah,
there's players that don't try as hard as them, but as I said, I'd be over the moon if I just get 100% as a bare minimum. That's a baseline for it. So
yeah,
as I said, the wee guy, as I said, the enthusiasm for the game is brilliant as well. It's good to watch. Sometimes his first touch lets him down, and he's maybe I think I'm not sure who it was in the pod that used to say all the time his brain's not quick enough for his legs. Is it you?
mhm,
So that's it in a nutshell. Absolutely in a nutshell.
yeah. Yeah, his legs are far too quick for his brain. He can't marry the two of them up to match up. So we've a couple of minutes left, so we'll quickly move on to the obviously game tomorrow against St Johnson. 5:30 kickoff in the Scottish Cup away to St Johnson. Um, obviously, there's going to be a large contingent of Rangers fans there. Do you see this as a following on from obviously our good form as in winning? And do you see us how easily do you see us winning if we're going down that line?
To be fair, as it stands, we're kind of doing it the hard way at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're making life a wee bit more difficult for ourselves than it needs to be. It's like anything. You go and play like your St Johnstones and your Livingstones, and they're going to make it a dogfight because that's the only way they know how to. So it's not going to be easy by any stretch of imagination. I don't think that, especially away from home. I don't think we're in any illusions that it's going to be a cakewalk. But it's going to be a hard game. I think it's going to be a tight game as well. But I just hope we don't concede. We keep conceding first and then making it hard for ourselves. Well, it's just we went through a wee spell of that as well at the just before Gerrard left as well, that we conceded every game. I don't.
Yeah.
It's as if we need to give them a head start before we kickstart and go. Oh Christ, let's get going. So I don't think it's going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but still think we will win. I think that you can see with Bill come in, you can see improvement, and you can see where mentality is getting better as well. I think that a lot of these games under Gio, we would have lost them or drawn. So I think that the mentality is getting stronger, and I think the more this team play with each other, because I think he likes to, it doesn't like to chop and change too much. So I think it's going to be a hard game, but I do think that we will win it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for. I'll go 3-1. Can't see us keeping a clean sheet. I just don't know why. I want to say have a clean sheet, but I think we'll be 3-1. With I'll go with Kent first goal scorer. There we go. I was going to say Morelos, but I'll say Kent. Yourself?
Do you know what? I'm going to go 2-0 because we need to start keeping clean sheets at some point. So 2-0, Sakala, first goal scorer.
CGM's very confident. 7-0. Like that. I like that. I mean, we've scored 7 at St Johnstone. It was a long time ago, but we have. So I would take that, and yeah, anything nil I would take because it means hopefully we're going through because we're going to score. Stephen saying 5-1. Michelle saying 4-1. So yeah, Curry. Oh, please don't be another 1-0. Oh God, hanging on. Oh, that would be torture, wouldn't it? Absolute torture. But so, folks, we'll call it a day there. 32 minutes on the clock. Bossman will be giving me pelters. Will be 2 minutes over the 30 anyway. Just a quick chat on. Oh, hold on. A few more coming in. Matt Gunner 4-1. Stevie May. Of course, because they'll score first. Yeah. 3-1. Caroline, she's agreeing with me for make somebody change. Where else are we going? We'll just go through a few more. Denzel's 3-0. Lowry. 4-3. That'll be some score marker. 2-1 Sakala. It's all right, Curry. It's not your fault. It's the team's fault. RFC 56 3-1 us. Rangers Loyalist 4-0. William O'Donnell 4-1. So yeah, everybody's pretty positive. So we'll be back tonight with the Rangers phoning, the Rabble phoning. I think Martin's got everything up and running. So get your points in, get your thoughts in on there might be a signing. As I say, if Cantwell is announced today, obviously we will try and go as live as quickly as possible. So as I say, it's at 7:30. I think it's the Rabble phoning tonight, so that's the only scheduled thing. But keep in mind if Cantwell gets announced, we will be back on. So I won't see you tonight, Mark. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks very much for having us.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. So we shall see. Well, I won't personally, but we shall see you back on tonight for the phone in and a possible signing if it does happen. So keep your eyes peeled for a notification. But nice seeing yous, and we'll see you again. Thank you.